Good evening, and I was about to say good morning. Good evening and happy Monday to everybody. I can see we've got Erica here and Karen and Rosa and Trang. Welcome. I'm glad that you came today. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Good evening, teacher.
Hi. I'm glad to see some of you have been working on your English. I see that Trang has been doing it online. She did lots of lessons. And let me see who else. Rosa, I think you were doing some online also, if I'm not mistaken. And Karen. Erica, did you pick up a, oh, you're working, Erica, you're working with Ms. Pinel, right? And with Ms. Jaragi?
Yes, with Miss Pinel.
Okay, and your civics, you're doing with Ms. I don't know how to say her name, Jaragi? Is that right? Howdigi? Is that her name is Howdigi?
Yes, my teacher is Howdigi.
Howdigi. Okay, so you're doing civics with her, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you really don't need to come to this class because you go to class with Ms. Howdigi and you're doing ESL with Ms. Pinel.
Okay. Okay.
You're welcome to stay if you want to, but you don't have to.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice day. Bye.
Bye. Okay, and let me see, we have, I want to make sure everybody's in the right class because this is the beginners class. So we have Karin, yes. Trang, you are actually intermediate. So your class would be at 6:15. So Trang, if you want to come back at 6:15, join the other link because that will be for intermediate. And that is what your level is, that you are intermediate. Let me double check on here. Yeah, well, I have you down for low intermediate. So do you want to come back and come to the other class at 6:15, Trang? And Rosa Ornelas, I see that you are intermediate. So let me see here. Yes, you're down for high intermediate, Rosa. So you would come also to the 6:15 class. I put two different classes in the link. There's the beginners class at 5:30 and there's the intermediate advanced class, and that's at 6:15. So you both may want to come back for that class. Do you have any questions, Trang or Rosa? Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. I said it again, right? This morning. No, it's evening, Sandra. It's evening. Okay. So let's see here. Welcome to the beginner's civics class. We're going to work today on completing a job application, and we're going to start doing the job interview. But just to make some announcements, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yes, I have my own YouTube channel, and it is right here. You can look up Sandra DeSena, and that's where I'm putting our class lessons. So all of the lessons that we are doing, I have been adding to the YouTube channel. So if you miss a class, then go ahead and come and see the video on YouTube, and then you can get caught up and get your homework done. I saw that lots of people are watching the video, so that's good. I'm glad. If you can't come to class, make sure you watch the video, and then you know what your homework is. If you are picking up homework, anybody that is going to school and are picking up these packets from school for English, then tomorrow you need to pick up your packet between 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock. They will not leave the school open in the evening because of all of the things happening in town. So you need to go between 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock if you need to pick up your ESL packet, your English packet. If you're doing it online, no worries, you're fine just as you are.
Okay, teacher, I do this homework online.
Yeah,
It's
you don't
okay?
have to worry. You're doing it online. Yeah, I just corrected online.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Some people, though, they're not doing it online and they're going to school and they're picking up their packets. So you can do it either way. You can do it on paper or online. So I know Trang is doing it online and Karin is doing it online. But also I think you are too, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue. So we are working, hopefully you have your civics packet with you. And you know, we're going to be going through pretty fast. So make sure that you have it with you and with a pencil. Today we're going to be talking about work history and writing a resume. So a resume is a sheet of paper that tells different places that you have worked before, other jobs that you've had. It talks about your work experience. So we're going to take a look at some of these different points. I'm going to start writing on the board here. So here we go. So we want to be careful that you don't write your supervisor's name when you read employer. So if you see the word employer, then, oops, that's a little bit too thin. Let's see. You see the word employer, then you need to write the name and address of the company. Now, then when it asks for your supervisor's name, then you're writing the first and last name of a person who told you what to do at work, your boss at work. That's your supervisor. And they may ask you, this is not for your resume, but this is for your work history. So when you do your job application and they ask you about your work history, then you need to write your supervisor's name, the first and last name, and you need to, they'll ask you, like, may we contact your supervisor? And if you say yes, that you can, then, hold on just a second. Okay, sorry about that. So if it says, may we contact your supervisor, if you say yes, then that means that they can call your boss and ask questions about you and about your work. It will also ask you the dates that you worked. So if it says from, then you write the date with the month and the year that you started. When you see to, that means the date that you finished your job. And you'll always start with the most recent or the most current job. And then the last one will be the oldest job that you had a long time ago. You'll need to write your job title, your job duties. Try to think of at least 3 things, 3 like jobs that you had at your work that you had to do. And you don't use complete sentences. You're just writing down a few things. Like, for example, if you worked as a waitress at a restaurant, you could say something like seated customers, asked for orders. You could say clear dishes or things like that. You wouldn't do that if you're a waitress, but you get the idea. Just a few words about what you did. You would need to write what your salary was. So the starting salary would be the first salary that you received, and the final salary is the last salary that you had. the employers will always want to know why you're leaving your job. Why did you decide not to work at your job anymore? So you need to give some reasons. And here's some examples of some reasons that you might give. Change my color here. You might say that you immigrated, that you left your country. Maybe you had these jobs in a different country and you came here, and that's why you left your job. Or maybe you had a better opportunity. You found a better job. So you could write better opportunity. Maybe you moved. Maybe you moved to Fontana and your other job was in a different city. So moved could be a reason why you left your job. Or maybe a career change. You found a different kind of job and you wanted to work at a different type of job. So these are all some possible reasons for why you might leave a job. And you want it to be positive. Like you won't say something like, oh, my boss was really mean, or it was a boring job, or things like that. You don't want to put that down on your work history. You want it to be something positive. Think of a good reason why you left your job. And you're also going to need to list some references. References are people who know you, usually people who know about your work, and they can say some good things about you. You'll need to write their last and first name, their address, telephone number, what their position was, and how long you've known that person. You cannot use your relatives. So you can't use your uncle or your grandfather or whatever. You can't use any relatives. They have to be people that are not in your family, but that know your work and can say that you did a good job with your work. Sometimes maybe you didn't have a job before, so you don't have like a work reference or someone who knows about your work. Then you can get a different kind of reference that can tell that you're a good person. They can say that you're honest, that you're friendly, that you're responsible. That would be called a character reference. But again, it can't be somebody in your family. Okay. Let me go ahead and clear this off. So here we see an example of a job application that's all completed. In the work history part, let me finish clearing all this off. Okay, I think we got it all there. Okay, so here we see some examples of what we just talked about. So on the employment history, we're going to put the present employer, where you work right now, first. Okay, so here we see from, so this job was from January of 1994 to present. That means now, that you're working for them now. This is the name of the company, Elder Care Action, and the company's address, and the state and the zip code. We can see how much this person made, what their salary was. They made $8 per hour when they first started their job. When they finished their job, or like right now, they were making $10 per hour. So you can see that they were doing better. And job title, this person was a home health aide. This is the name of the supervisor and the telephone number. And here the person listed a few duties. They helped elderly patients, they dressed, cooked, bathed, and they fed the elderly patients. Reasons for leaving. Well, this person hasn't left their job yet. They're still working there. So they just put NA. That means not applicable. So if you're still at your job, then you just write NA. This is the second job that the person had. So from March 1983 to October 1993, the employer's name and the address. And this person, it looks like they were not, they were probably a volunteer because they were not they were not making any money or a salary, or it could be that it's because it was in a different country. So it doesn't really, it wouldn't be in US dollars. So they put NA. And this was an accountant. And the person, you can, this is their duties. And they emigrated. That means that they came, they left the country. Oops, sorry. Okay, and here we can see the references, name and position, 3 different references that this person has to show their work. So this is what you will need to do. You will need to fill out this part of the job application. Hopefully you did the last part of the job application last week, because that was part of your homework. And then this part you need to do today for homework. So you're going to fill out your own employment history and the last 2 jobs, and also 3 references, 3 people that can be called that can say that you were a good worker. Are there any questions so far about this part of the lesson? No questions. Okay. Here's the
Teacher,
yes.
excuse me.
Uh-huh.
This part answer right now, or is homework I send to you
Right.
after?
It's homework. So you'll do it later after class is over. Then you can do this part. Just, you know, just take a picture on your phone and send it to me. Or you can send it by email, by text, however you want to send it. You can just take a picture of it and send it to me. Okay. Sorry, I got a couple messages here. Excuse me just a minute. Okay, so here we see, we're going to talk now about a resume. So when you're going to get a job someplace, you need to bring what we call a resume. And here we can see an example of a resume. It tells what type of work somebody did. So at the very top, we see the contact information. So you would write your name, your address, here's the address, your telephone number, and your email. All those things you need to include at the very top of your resume. Then you're going to write what we call an objective. That means what is it that you want to do? For this person, it says position as a teacher's assistant. So they want to work as a teacher's assistant. So that is what their objective is. If you want to work at maybe a nursing home and you want to be a nursing aide, then that would be what your objective would be. So what it is that you want to do. Then you need to write what your qualifications are. Why would you be good at this job? Why should they hire you? How are you qualified? So here's some examples of what this person did. They want to be a teacher's assistant, and these are their qualifications. Whoops, sorry about that. They have 5 years teaching experience in kindergarten and elementary school. They're organized, creative, and energetic, and they work well with parents, children, and teachers. So they use a lot of the information here that show why they would be a good teacher's assistant. and you have to list your experience. So any jobs that you have done for this type of job, that have this type of experience. So for this person was an elementary school teacher. She was a teacher's assistant. So this is some experience that she had. And then lastly, you put your education. So any education that you had, and you can see this person is from Vietnam. So her schooling was done in a different country, but you still put it. And if you had any degrees, any special certificates, any special training, all of those things will go here on your job app, on your resume. And remember that we talked about references. So references, sometimes you'll list it like this: references available upon request. So if they ask, then you'll give the person phone numbers and names of people that they can call to find out about your work. So they may ask, if they look at your resume and they like it, then they may call you and say, can you give us some references? So then you do that. Just make sure you let those people know, so when they get a phone call, they know what it's about. Okay, so you're going to be writing your own resume, and this needs to be done before class on Wednesday. We have class again on Wednesday, so I want you to finish this on your own before class, and you can send me a picture. So remember, at the top, you're going to have all of your information, your name. What else goes here? Who can tell me what goes here? Does anybody remember what we put here? Okay, you're going to put you can look back at your paper, but you're going to have your name, you'll put your address, phone number, email, all of your contact information goes up here. And then you write your objective, and you can make it up, because, or if there's a certain, job that you want, pretend and pretend that you're filling out this resume, what you want to do. Maybe you want to be a teacher's assistant, or maybe you want to be a sales clerk, or maybe you want to be a banking assistant, or whatever. So that will be what your objective is. Write down why you're qualified, what your experience is, and your education. And make sure you have your references ready. And you will have put that on the other paper that we looked at, right? Because it asked for references there. So you'll need to bring this, send it to me before class on Wednesday. And this is important, because when you do your civics test, you'll need to have your resume with you. It has to be finished. So that way I can look it over, and if something needs to be fixed, then I can help you.
Teacher, how
Yes.
many references?
You should have three references.
Okay.
It's
Thank
good to have three. If you have, like for me, I worked, like I lived here a long time ago and I worked, but then I was out of the country for many years. So when I came back to work, my references were pretty old. So I had to ask for more like character references from people that I knew that could tell that I would do a good job, or that I was a good person. And then once I started working again here, then I had some job references of people that they could call, excuse me, and find out about my work. So if you don't have jobs here or had a job here, then you can use a character reference instead.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions about how to do a resume?
Hello, teacher.
Yes, Elsie. Hi, Elsa.
Okay. Hi. And this resume is for any position, or you need to put a teacher or something like that, or I had experience in warehouse. I can work in different place, only in the warehouse. I need to put in the warehouse, or I need to put in something specific for the nurse or teacher, or I don't know.
It's up to you. Like, you think about what your objective is. So what kind of a job do you want to have?
Okay.
That will go here for objective. And
Okay. Yeah.
then you'll think of some different qualifications that you have
Mm-hmm.
and experience and your education.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh,
if, let's say you want to be a nurse, but
uh-huh.
you don't have any experience or you don't have any qualifications yet because you have you haven't started that yet. Excuse me, just a second. Then you might want to instead like do something related to your work, related to a warehouse, like maybe be a warehouse supervisor or a
Okay.
manager or something,
Mhm.
something, that's higher up from where you are right now. Because then
Okay.
you can list your qualifications, you can show your experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
Okay.
question. Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay. And just reminding you, if you are not a beginner, if you are intermediate or advanced level, then there are more things that you have to do. So that's why it's important to go to the other class so that you find out more information, because we're doing a little bit differently for beginners. Okay, so here is an example of what we call a cover letter. And for the beginning level, it doesn't have to do a cover letter. So I'm just going to kind of briefly show you what a cover letter is, but you won't have to do one yet. But intermediate and advanced will have to do a cover letter. Okay, so here we can see this is the advertisement. It's for a teacher's assistant. And we can see all of the information. And here we see resume to Mr. Edward Rodriguez, principal, and his address. So we're going to write a cover letter. And the cover letter is kind of like an introduction. It's introducing you to the person so they can know a little bit about you. So here we see at the top, you write your address, your name, address, your phone number, your email, all that important information, like what you put on your resume. You'll write the date. That will be today's date. Who are you sending this letter to? Well, you have to look at the advertisement. It's right here. So that's who it is. And you put all of the information. And then you write, Dear Mr. or Dear Ms. or so-and-so. And then you're going to tell a little bit like how you found out about the job. Maybe you saw it in the newspaper, or maybe you saw it on the internet, however you found out about the job. And you tell how you're interested, that you would like to apply for the job. Tell a little bit about your experience, and then you just say something simple. I look forward to hearing from you soon. And then you sign sincerely and sign your name and then type your name. So this is just it's very basic. You don't give a lot of information, just a little bit. It's kind of like a friendly hello to the person. But we're not going to be doing that at the beginner level. When you finish your cover letter, then you're going to take your cover letter and your resume, and you would put it in an envelope, and you would need to address your envelope to the same person and with your information as well. Of course, you want to make sure it's very neat writing, that you have everything spelled correctly, that your letters are formed nicely, you have the punctuation in the right places. That makes a good impression. See how we're doing on time. Got a few minutes still. Okay. So this is just, again, about writing that cover letter. Beginners don't have to write a cover letter. This will be for intermediate, and advanced will be writing a cover letter. Okay, we're going to skip through this part. And we're going to talk a little bit about the job interview now. And remember that, actually, I think I left out a slide here that I wanted to show you. There should be, you should have in your packet a practice test. It should come right before this. Let me see if I can find it on my, I think I put it in the intermediate one. But you guys need to do it too. So let me see where it is. Here we go. Okay, so you should have a practice test that looks like this. Hopefully you can find that in your packet. And this is going to be homework for you. Okay, remember that for your test for civics, one thing that you have to be able to do is complete a job application. So you have to practice so that you get good at it, because I'm going to test you. So what you'll need to do is read this paragraph here about Gabriella Eva Loy, and she's looking for a new job. So you're going to use this information and you'll fill out her job application. So that is right here. So you'll use this information to fill out this job application. And then you need to send me a picture. You have a week. You don't have to do it right away, but I want you to send me a picture by Monday on June 8th. So you have a week to work on it. Are there any questions about this homework assignment? And I know it seems like a lot of homework, and it kind of is because we didn't have a lot of time. It's a summer class and we don't have very many days of class, and then I have to start doing the testing and then we're all done. So there's kind of a lot of work that needs to be done so that you're ready. I want to make sure that everybody passes and is able to fill out a job application and also do an interview. So no questions about this? Okay, I'm going to skip back over to our other slide here. And we're going to start looking at how to do a job interview. And again, this is for beginning levels. Let's take a look at these two ladies here. And pretend that you are the employer, you have your own shop, and you need to hire somebody for your store to help you. So just by looking at the pictures, who do you think will be the better worker?
The first one.
The one
the
over
first
here?
one. Yes, I think, yeah.
Why do you think so, Elsie? Why do you think that this person would be a better worker?
The other one is, you know, is the sit down is informal. The other one is more presentation, the first one. I think the other one had presentation, but you know, when you go to the interview, you see the second one is you had the left and the sofa, I think, I don't know, or what is that one? I don't know, he has something.
He's kind of like leaning back and just looking very relaxed, right?
Yeah, the first one is more presentation, I think.
Right. Yeah, she's leaning forward. And look at what she
Mhm.
has on her lap. It looks like she's taking notes, right?
Mhm. Yes.
She has a pen and paper. She's going to take notes. She looks interested, doesn't she?
Yeah. She's ready for work.
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
She's leaning forward, so she looks very interested. Uh-huh. Anybody else have anything to say? Okay, let's take a look at some important points as well when you do a job interview. Here in the United States, sometimes in our culture, things are a little bit different than in other cultures. One thing, and Elsie, if you can turn off your microphone, please.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay, thanks. So we have something that we call eye contact. And this is very important when you're doing a job interview. It's important to have eye contact. That means that you're looking at the person that you're talking to, the person that is interviewing you, and you're not like, looking down or just, looking around, but you want to be looking directly into the person's eyes. Here in the United States, then that is a very positive thing, and it shows that you respect the person and that you're not hiding anything, that you're being honest. But in some countries, that would kind of show disrespect, or it would be very rude to be looking straight at the person's eyes. So that's something that's a little bit different here as compared to some countries. It's important to make good eye contact and make sure that you keep looking at that person because that shows respect. Okay, check our time here. Got a few minutes left. So these are some important points to help you when you go to a job interview. Erase these things here. Okay, so it's very important to be on time. Don't be late because they will think that you are not an organized person and that you are not dependable. So you want to make sure to be on time. Make sure that you are dressed nicely. If you're wearing a t-shirt and jeans, or if your clothes are not clean, then the employer will think they don't really care about this job. And on the other hand, don't be too overdressed and too fancy either. Don't put on too much makeup or too much jewelry. Just keep it simple, okay? But nice and professional. Stand tall. Don't be nervous, and smile. So make sure that your shoulders are back, that you're standing up straight. Don't look nervous, even if you really are, because usually in job interviews, we are all nervous. And make sure to smile. Very important. So even though the English is very important, body language is very important. Body language, we say that refers to what we do with our body. So the way that we stand, the way that we sit, the way that we smile, those are all very important. Make eye contact and give a firm handshake. So you reach out your hand, you give a nice firm handshake. Don't give one of those like wimpy ones like this. A nice strong handshake. And you only want to say good things about yourself. Be positive, say good things. Don't say something like, oh, I don't know, or I'm not good at that. No, you want to say good things about you and speak loud so that they can hear you and they know that you are confident and positive. Make sure that you are prepared. Bring your resume. Bring your list of references. Don't bring any children. Ask a friend to babysit your kids for you when you go to a job interview. Try to learn something about the company and practice answering some questions that they might ask you at a job interview. And let me see. Okay, we didn't get as far as I wanted to today. These are some important vocabulary words that you will need to know, that you need to practice reading and saying. We kind of talked about these already, so we on the other page. So we have employer, interview, interviewer, organized, body language, confident, and references. So those are all some important vocabulary that you need to learn. And you can use those to fill in the blanks here. You can practice. This is kind of, you know, your own homework. You don't have to turn this into me, but this is for you to practice. And here are some things about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So you can mark things that you should do and things that you shouldn't do. So for example, should you be friendly? Yes, you should be friendly. Okay. Should you bring your friend? No, you shouldn't bring your friend. So you just mark it off like that. And to finish up for today, whoops, Soba, she has the marks on her. Hold on, let me erase this. Okay. So to finish up for today, let's take a look at this picture. Here's a job interview. This lady has come for a job interview. And what do you see? What are some, does it look like she's doing a good job at her interview? What's wrong?
No bring your kids.
Right, she brought one of her children. That's not for a job interview. That's not a good idea. Anything else?
No use the accessories on the glasses in your head.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't see that. She has glasses on top of her head. That's not a good place to put glasses in a job interview. Right.
No smoking.
Right. You don't smoke at a job interview. Very good.
And she no have contact for the person for the interview. She's looking the other. She looking for the toys for the kids or something like that.
Right. She's messing around with her purse, right? She's very distracted. No eye contact. You're right.
No.
How about her clothes?
It's I think it's
Looks like she has a rip on her jeans.
yeah. It's not appropriate for the interview, I think.
Right. It's not appropriate, not professional. So she should be dressed a little bit better, right? Her chair
Yeah.
should be facing the interviewer. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we are done for today. Thank you for coming and keep up the good work. And we will see you on Wednesday.
Okay. See you Wednesday.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
teacher. Thank you. Bye bye.
You're welcome.